I'm Liz Graciela, and your Skyline Scoop starts right now. Good morning, Raiders. There's not many announcements today, so teachers, don't forget to submit your announcements to Skynet. Let's get right into it with today's weather.
Good morning, Skyline Raiders. I'm Clarissa here with your weather for today, Thursday, January 9th. It's going to be scattered thunderstorms with a high of 72 and low of 64. Tomorrow it's going to be thunderstorms with a high of 72 and low of 42. That's all we have for today, Raiders. Check in next time for more weather with Clarissa.
Let's see what's for lunch today.
Breaded chicken leg, green chili and cheese quesadilla, cheeseburger, blueberry parfait,
ham and cheese Texas jalapeno toast,
penne pasta with sauce,
seasoned black beans,
baby carrots,
cheesy spinach,
pears,
fresh fruit salad.
fresh fruit salad.
Now for your mind fact.
Hey y'all, Martin here. New Year / decades here, so let's start things off with some New Year's Eve facts, shall we? The dropping of the New Year's Eve ball is actually a new tradition that started in 1907. Though currently the ball is made of Waterford crystal, a tap manufacturing crystal, before it was actually made of wood and iron. The top five most common New Year's resolutions that people came up with was quit smoking, lose weight, staying healthy and fit, save more money, and get a bit more organized. That's it for this segment, Raiders. Just wanted to say welcome back and hope this year will be good, y'all. I'll see y'all later.
Here's your A segment.
Today we're going to be talking about stress in high school, specifically when it comes to grades, extracurriculars, and college applications. This is something that affected me a lot in high school, regardless of whether I told people about it or talked about it in public. I mean, it happened. Here's the simple answer: you can't avoid stress. It's going to be something that you experience from time to time, especially with the pressure that high school and college applications bring. Hopefully by the end of the video you'll have a little more insight into how stress affected me when I was in high school, and hopefully you'll have a couple tips to handle it on your own. So stress. First of all, I'm going to talk about what exactly causes stress. For me, it was the constant pressure of trying to explore my extracurricular interests while still trying to maintain my grades. I'd spend all my free time reading college application articles and blogs, trying to find out how to stand out or write a better essay or what extracurriculars I could get involved in. I just wanted to tell a compelling story in my college application, and I didn't feel like I was doing that, so it was really hard. I was also worrying about sports and baseball. How could I be expected to pitch my best when I was running on 4 hours of sleep because I was studying for a calc test the night before? High school is a game of trying to balance way too many things. And anytime you make a mistake, it feels like the end of the world. There were days when I would wake up in the morning and feel like I couldn't get out of bed because I felt so overwhelmed. For example, here was a typical day in my high school life. I would wake up around 6 a.m., shower, get dressed, and then study for around an hour in the morning. What was I doing? Then I would head to school around 8 a.m. If it was freshman or sophomore year, I'd be doing homework and studying on the bus. If it was during junior or senior year, I'd be driving my brother and his friends to school and putting up with their shenanigans. I would get to school, go through all my classes, take any tests or turn any assignments I had to, and then I would immediately head to baseball after school. If I had a game, I would get home around 11 or midnight. If I had practice, most of the time I'd be back by 7:30. As soon as I got home, I would immediately start grinding on any homework I had. Most nights I would go until I just couldn't even hold my eyes open any longer. And there were some nights where I just fell asleep on my kitchen table with a face full of calculus. Not the best days. It's just not a healthy lifestyle. I was not treating my body right. And it was all due to this unnecessary stress. For some reason, I thought the whole world revolved around me getting the perfect grades and the perfect test scores, when in reality, it felt like I was barely living. I know I often come off as this happy, perfect individual who doesn't have any problems at all, just because you're like witnessing my life through this camera lens. But in reality, I had a really rough time in high school, like when it came to academics and just like socially transferring schools. There's just a lot that caused stress for me. So I hope to share with you guys some tips that will help you get through the gauntlet that is high school and college applications, especially if you're looking at applying to top schools like Yale. My first tip is to take breaks. Specifically, take them early and often. Although you may want to keep grinding on whatever you're working on, a lot of times a quick break can provide a much needed mental rejuvenation and can make the rest of your study session a lot more productive and less stressful. I was a big fan of a pretty popular study technique you've probably heard of, the Pomodoro method. Basically where you split your study session into like 30-minute blocks, where for 25 minutes you're studying and for 5 minutes you're taking a break. This thing works miracles and can drastically increase your endurance when it comes to studying, especially if you're trying to get through a long session. Actually, I was such a big fan of this method that for like a CS project my junior year, I coded my own Pomodoro like web application. So you know what, I'll leave the link below, you can check that out, it was pretty cool. The next tip I have deals with organization. If you're not organized, it's going to become very easy to get overwhelmed by assignments and projects, and soon you'll be super stressed. Organization is key. You should obviously keep all of your classes organized in a binder, notebook, folder, whatever you want to use, but it needs to be laid out in a way that you can easily access it, and it's not going to get crumpled or anything, because these are notes and assignments that you need to be studying off of. Also, try to use a planner or a calendar, even on your phone. I know my school, probably like most schools, always hand out those like agenda books at the beginning of the year, and they're like, hey, you got to use these, write down all your assignments, and like, I don't know, they used to like check them and like sign them off like during homeroom, whatever. But those things are actually really useful despite being forced to use them. I didn't really use a calendar or planner in high school, but I really wish I did. Now I keep my entire schedule in GCal, Google Calendar. One, it's easy to use and edit. But two, a lot of people ask for a GCal when they're scheduling meetings or events for my extracurricular activities around campus. Also, make sure you have an organized and clean workspace that you can come back to after a long day of school. This can make it a lot easier to study because you're in an environment that you know and an environment that you have control over. I always love plopping down in my like big comfy office chair after a long day of school and baseball, and having my favorite pencil and notebook exactly where I left it the night before. My last tip when it comes to fighting stress in high school is maintaining good physical condition. Mainly this means exercise and sleep. It's very hard to get 9 hours of sleep each night. Most nights I ended up with 7 or 8, but I wasn't as productive as I could have been. But man, a 3 or 4 hour night will absolutely destroy you. You can't be falling asleep in class. You might as well not even be there. The key to getting enough sleep is making sure that you prioritize it in your schedule. Set a bedtime and stick to it. If you still have work to do, you obviously didn't manage your time well enough during the day. Also, exercise can drastically improve your mental health and also your ability to endure long study sessions. In the off season during high school, I would go to the gym every single night from 9 to 10:30, run, hit a quick lift, come back and finish up any last minute study things I needed before I would go to bed. Not only will this get you in better physical shape, it's a great stress reliever and really stimulates the body. My biggest tip though is to just take a step back every once in a while. Relax and take a deep breath. High school and the college application process is rough, but that one late calc assignment or that one B on a history test is not going to ruin your college application. Just realize that you don't have to be perfect. I wasn't. Colleges would much rather see a thriving, mentally healthy student that's passionate and loves what they're doing than somebody that looks like a zombie but has a 4.0. This is my biggest piece of advice for you guys. Just keep yourself healthy, okay?
That's all for today, readers. Be sure to catch up on all things Skyline by following us at Skyline Broadcasting. And to make sure you never miss an episode of your Skyline Scoop, you can sign up to receive mobile broadcasts by texting SKYN to 81010 or visit us at skynetbroadcasting.org. I'm Liz Graciela, and with everyone here from Skynet News, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.